Hi, welcome to Just Thinking Out Loud. My name is Desi-Rae. I want to make a video today about LOVE, love, because I think it's important to put positive messages out into the world and to be clear about where I stand.
Oh my god, what am I doing?
I feel a bit silly making a video on the topic because I'm not going to analyze it just with my logical brain. I could give you the definition of love, for example. I could talk about how many different ways there are to define it. I could talk about the different kinds of love you can have with the self, with others, for a friend, for a romantic partner, for a country, for a thing. There's so many different ways in which people use that word. I'm not going to do that because I don't really know if I have the authority to define love. But I do know that when people say that word, they know what you mean when you say it. So the way that people express their love towards whatever that object is, be it a person, a living being, or a non-sentient entity, for example, it can't be any more than they know how to express it. So if you don't know how to love yourself well because of what you've learned love is from how you've received it from others, then you can't reflect that back into the world if you haven't sorted it out in yourself. So for that reason, I think that there are lots of people, I don't know the statistics because I'm not making this into one of my analysis videos, out there who are on drugs, for example, or who try to escape themselves. I do that too. I'm not saying that I'm perfect, and I definitely don't want to come off as being on some kind of high horse. But I really want to say this because I just think that this is the way that the world becomes a better place. There are people who hurt each other, they abuse other people, they abuse kids, they abuse themselves, and you see all of this happening in the background, and then you see trouble in the world that you wonder, why does that trouble happen? And I think that it's related to how people treat themselves or how they love themselves. And I also want to point out that as I'm talking about love, although I have my personal beliefs that I talk about and promote through the content that I make, I don't think that I'm not trying to attach what I'm saying to any kind of political belief system or religion or any kind of ideology. I think that people can attach what they want to that word, love. A lot of political parties do that, but you can attach it to anything and then make it seem like it's the same thing. And to you, it might be, as I said, because like you can only express what you know. And so if you think that one way of treating yourself is loving, you will do it to other people even though it might not be. The reason why I want to talk about this, even though I'm not even sure quite how to say it because I don't feel like I have the authority, is because I know that it's important. Like I can't exactly say how, but I'm mentioning people abusing each other and people being on lots of drugs. There's social media, the way people attack each other online out there. And all of that, I think, is people expressing themselves in the only way that they know how. So I think that love is important because if you have that intent, it's going to come out through whatever you end up doing. For example, if you're talking to someone saying that you want to help them, but your goal is to actually get something from them, then you're not actually trying to help them. That's not actually coming from a good place, and I would say that that's not actually loving, but you're framing it as that in your own head. Another example is if you're expressing yourself emotionally, like something, for example, that you went through, but you're only doing it as a way to manipulate other people, then again, that's like taking something that you could rationalize is somehow loving to yourself or to others because you're like expressing yourself. But if you're doing it as a way to have power over other people or to manipulate them, then that's not actually loving. So what I'm trying to say is that your honest intent has to be coming from a place of love. And I genuinely think that this is the most important thing for the world to do, and that it can only start with the individual person, because you only really have control over yourself. And so I guess the real message that I'm trying to make here is that I hope that everyone makes it a goal to love themselves. Now, I understand that people can think that I'm talking about narcissism, but what I'm trying to say is that you can't actually love other people or the world if you don't know how to do that. And you can't know how to do that if you don't know how to do it with yourself. What does that mean practically? Because I like to be practical when I say things. Well, you first start with your intention. That's where everything starts. And then you can put things into practice. So, are you sleeping well? Are you eating well? Do you know what you need? Do you deeply understand yourself? Do you have a good relationship with yourself? Do you know your hopes, your dreams, your fears, the things you like about yourself, the things you don't like about yourself, the things you love about yourself, the things you hate about yourself? I think all of that is really important. And it just starts with intent. It might seem difficult, or what I'm saying is like super abstract, but it just starts with intent. And I'm gonna say again, I feel silly making this video. Like I just want to make a video about like love and putting more love into the world, and I'm not trying to attach it to any kind of ideology, because people do that. And like, no, everybody has access to this thing. All of us have a heart, and all of us have like emotions that we run on, and all of us want to be loved and to be taken care of. And I think you start that by doing it with yourself. And it's just, I think it's so important. I'm just trying to share a message from the heart, and I just want to put more love into the world. And that is the sole purpose of this video. I think it's a continuous process. I am not an expert. I am not perfect. It's not something that I don't struggle with at all, but I just want to share my spark with other people and let them know that I think that this is important. And I don't know exactly how things manifest themselves, but I do know that if you start from the right place, then they manifest themselves pretty well. So that's my message. That's the purpose of my video today. I hope that it's useful, and I just want to put it out there. That's all. I hope that you have a good day, and I will talk to you soon as usual. Bye. I'm just gonna give some afterthoughts. Like, I feel so good saying that. I feel like I've wanted to say it for a long time, and like I say it while I don't say it. I just say it in being myself, because I, you know, the way I am when I'm making my content, I try not to trash people. I try to understand. I try to look at other sides. At the same time, I try to respect myself. Like, I try to actually have an opinion. Some people don't get that because they think I'm like being too having too much consideration for the other side, or being kind of on the fence. But I'm not. I'm trying to have my opinion while understanding that other people might not have my opinion, and that they might have their reasons for doing so. And I definitely think that there's such a thing as right and wrong. Like, I think that there is such a thing as truth, not necessarily when it comes to a lot of subjective human affairs, but like not necessarily in interpretation sometimes, but in terms of what is and what has occurred. I feel kind of silly. I'm sure some people will appreciate this. And I know it's like it diverges a lot from the content that I already make. And like, I feel so happy that I've like made this video. I think I just wanted to get it off of my chest. And yeah, I'm rambling now. So maybe I'll have a yearly message of love. Maybe that's a good thing, or maybe that's cheesy, but I am kind of cheesy, so that would be okay. That's my message to anybody who hears it, really, and I hope that you pass it on. Bye again.